Hi, my name is Natalie Stepien, and today I'm going to be giving my informative speech over Hinduism. But before I begin, I just want to introduce my audience really quick.
1,
2,
3, 4,
5.
Okay, so when you think about religion, Hinduism probably isn't the first one that comes to your mind. And this may be because it is the world's oldest religion that still has lasting impacts to this day. And today I just want to give some of my insight that I have on the religion, and specifically I want to focus on its philosophies, its rituals, and then the impact it has on its followers in society today. So, as I mentioned earlier, it is the world's oldest religion, and this causes it to have lots of different variations that people follow. People tend to kind of form their personal version of Hinduism so that it suits their lifestyle the best that it can. But there are a lot of common rituals and practices that most people will follow. One of these is the belief in karma, which basically is what you put out into the world is what you'll get back. So if you're a relatively kind, good person with a good soul, you're going to get that back in some way or another. And then vice versa, if you're not the greatest person, you tend to be kind of bitter, selfish, it's going to come back and hurt you in the long run. And contrary to popular belief, Hinduism isn't the belief in multiple gods, it's actually the belief in one God. And a comparison is kind of like in Christianity, how there is the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So they're all part of one God, but there's different sections to it. So the three main sections of this one God called the Ultimate is Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And there's thousands of other deities that personal individuals will follow, but they're all part of the Ultimate. And then another main belief is reincarnation, which is called samsara in Hinduism. It's the belief that after your life here, depending on how well you live it, you'll turn into something else after you die, a living thing, like an animal or a person. So basically, if you live a good, prosperous life and you're a good person, you're going to come back and probably have an even better life than you did before. And then, so it is referred to as more of a way of life than a religion. It's a way of thinking, and it affects about 15% of the population, and it is highly concentrated in India, and its main belief is just doing what's right. They really focus on actions over beliefs. So you can think something is the correct thing to do, think something's right, but it doesn't mean as much unless you actually go out and do it. And along with these major components, there are thousands of rituals that individuals will perform that are a huge part of the belief. So one of these are called samskaras, and this is basically rituals performed in order to prepare someone for their next part of life. So these can be performed before a child is born. There's a lot of rituals that are performed before a child is born, and then before marriage and after marriage to make sure the couple is prosperous and long living. And I'll get more into marriage in a minute. And then there are some for death, and their funerals are typically really short, about 30 minutes. And they're really a celebration of life. And the bodies are usually sent down a body of water afterward as a ritual. And then these rituals are usually performed with information that come from their two main sacred texts. And this would be the Vedas and the Upanishads. And the Vedas have 4 main sections, and the Upanishads have over 100, but they usually come from the same 10. And in these sacred texts, it's basically a matter of written versus memorized. So written is mostly in the Vedas. It's very factual texts that are implemented into everyday life. And then the memorized are more part of the Upanishads, which are like folklore and stuff like that. And so these rituals and stuff are part of Hinduism that affects these people's everyday lives. There are countless traditions in Hinduism that affect society, like they have a lot of holidays that they celebrate. And then back on marriage, this is not only a joining of a couple or 2 people, it is also a combination of families. And there are a lot of rituals performed that go into the marriage. Like for the women, they get henna done, which is a paste kind of material, and it basically stains the skin for a little bit, temporary, and it's these very intricate designs all down their arms. And then there's the jewelry and the bright clothing that they wear, which is a huge part of it. And then a couple is considered successful if they have a child. So it is a duty of the Hindu people to continue the Hindu race through their children. And like I said earlier, Hinduism is really a personal journey to being a good person. It is a complex faith that still has a major impact on its people today, and it is a great tale from its longevity. It's the world's oldest religion, and it is a intricate way of thinking, and I'm really glad that I could share my knowledge on the subject with you guys. And so to end, I just want to introduce my audience one more time.
1,
2, 3,
4.
5.
Thank you.